Imagine a life where what you want is naturally and easily attracted to you, where you don't have to struggle to survive or fight to have your basic needs met, where you wake up in peace and actually get to enjoy your day, to experience what you really want. What if I were to tell you that that dream can actually be your reality? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you an ancient practice that's going to help you raise your vibration and make that dream your reality. If you're ready to attract what you really desire, break free of painful patterns in your life, and live the life that you really want, you're in the right place. I know exactly what it feels like to be stuck in a painful, miserable cycle. For me, it was most dominant in my romantic relationships. So many nights I laid in bed 3 a.m., checking my phone to see maybe if they called me, maybe they sent me a text, constantly refreshing their Instagram and Facebook to see maybe I could get a glimpse to see what they were doing. Were they cheating on me? Were they going to leave me? Were we okay? The only thing I had with me were worry, fear, and anxiety. That happened to me over and over, no matter who I dated and no matter what I tried to break out of it. And for you, it might be different. Maybe it's a career, maybe it's an amount of money, but something outside of you that you feel if you had, that your life would be better and you would feel differently in life. I knew about the law of attraction and different techniques, but I really struggled to understand and apply them to my life. And so nothing actually changed. And those same painful experiences kept replaying. That was until I learned how to break out of this pattern and shift my vibration. And when I did this, it completely changed my life and allowed me to actually break free of those old patterns. And it changed what and who I attracted into my life until ultimately I was able to attract a safe, loving, and stable relationship. Not because of some new technique that I discovered, but because I learned where the issue really was, which I'll be sharing with you in this video that will help you break out too. The biggest misconception about changing your energy and shifting your vibrations so that you can attract new circumstances is that if you could actually do it, you would have done it by now. And that maybe you just aren't capable of doing it like other people, which makes you feel even worse about yourself than you even started to change your vibration. I'm here to tell you that's absolutely false. For me, I knew these ideas. I thought I knew what people were saying. I felt like I was constantly walking around on eggshells because I was afraid to mess up because I wasn't really sure what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong, which actually led me back to the same energy of worry, fear, and anxiety, where I would then people please and attract emotionally unavailable people and search and spend all my energy looking for their validation and attention. This happened so much in my life that I actually thought this is how relationships work. Spoiler alert, it's not. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will dictate your life and you'll call it fate. This is exactly what was happening to me, and I believe it's what's happening to you too. The biggest problem I had in my life is what I was not aware of. Consciously, you have these desires and these intentions, but no matter what you do, at the end of the day, you end right where you started. Or maybe for you, you last a week or a month. No matter what, it takes you right back to where you started. Why? Autopilot runs your old programs, which is what happens when you're not present or when you become unconscious in your day. These neurological patterns are so familiar that they'll actually run themselves unless you become aware of them with your conscious understanding. Awareness is the critical first step to changing anything in your life right now. You see, in order to attract something new in your life, you're gonna have to match it energetically. And the only way to do that is if you are aware of who you are being, so that you can start making new choices that align with that desire. If you don't do this and you're not aware of yourself, you will be a prisoner to your unconscious programs from the past. Continue to recreate your past in your present moment. So I want to show you what this looks like in my life to give you a better understanding of how you can use this practice at the end of this video. Let me take you back about 10 years ago. I was early on dating this woman and we got along great. It was maybe the third date. And I was in Austin at the time, and in Austin, breakfast tacos are huge. So her and I went to have breakfast tacos and coffee. Everything was great. During the breakfast, she said, "Wow, this is really good coffee. I love it." And I made a note. After we parted ways, I lived really close to this taco shop. So I go in and I ask, what kind of coffee did you serve this morning? And they told me what it was and where they got it. So I went to the store and I got this coffee. The next time I saw her, I presented her with this coffee. Now, what I want you to understand is that I was completely unaware of my motives, why I was actually getting the coffee. Because no, if you buy someone coffee, if you get them a gift, that doesn't mean anything of what I'm about to share. You can do that with genuine goodness and kindness from your heart if you're not wanting something from them. For me though, since I didn't feel good enough, I didn't feel like I was whole and complete on my own, I felt that I needed her validation. So I decided that I needed to get her this gift so that I would be seen as something good in her life, or maybe she'd be dazzled by my consideration. All of that is actually based through manipulation because I was actually doing that from a self-rejecting, self-abandoning space. I didn't feel good enough unless I got this gift and then I get her validation. Now, later in my life, I became more aware of this. And when those impulses would come up, those old programs, I was able to step out of them, make a new choice, and start neurologically rewiring my brain. Because before that, I continued to be in one reactionary state after another one. And I continued to then get that same energetic, even though consciously I'm thinking I'm doing good things. Why are these people not being emotionally available? Why don't they give me what I'm giving to them? Because what I was really giving to myself was emotional neglect, emotional abandonment, so I could be there for them. But then what I would get is a reflection of myself. Only through awareness was I able to break out of this. So this is what I want to now share with you about how you can start expanding your awareness of yourself so you can start making new choices that actually align with your conscious desires. So this practice comes from the Rosicrucians, who came around about the 17th, 16th century. And this is one exercise they had specifically to help increase and expand awareness and ultimately to expand and elevate your level of consciousness. And for you personally, as you go up the consciousness map, that is how you'll actually be able to perceive and attract your desires and that safe, secure, and abundant life. So this practice is called the backwards review. And Dr. Joe Dispenza has actually mentioned this in some of his talks in his own wording. So the backwards review is a sort of meditative practice, and it's very, very simple. At the end of your day, as you're getting in bed, you lay down and you start to rewind your day. What did you do the moment before you got into bed? So maybe that was brushing your teeth. What did you do before that? Maybe that was turning on your alarms. What did you do before that? Maybe that was having dinner. How much can you go backwards sequentially throughout your day, and do you have awareness? Big, huge, important thing here is not to judge yourself. As I've done this in my own life, there have been a couple days where there's big gaps, maybe 2 or 3 hours, and I don't really remember. I'm not aware of what I was doing. That in itself is information that's helpful to me. Okay, something happened where I became unconscious. When I was unconscious, I was running on autopilot. So you want to try to do this all the way through until you get to the start of your day, till you get to where you woke up. And the more you do this, the more you become aware. You want to ask yourself, what were you thinking throughout that time? What were you feeling? And ultimately, how you were acting in your life. Now, going through that day, you might have had different things. Maybe you're focused on this, you're doing that. But when you rewind it, you're able to see it from a different perspective, which can increase your awareness of it. And you can potentially start to become conscious of some unconscious things. And maybe your state of being, your thoughts, actions, and feelings are different than the intention you had to start your day. Now, big caveat, if you're really tired and you lay down and get comfortable and you start to review your day, you're most likely going to fall asleep. I have done this as I've been practicing this technique, and it's okay. Be forgiving of yourself. However, use your willpower to fight that, or maybe sit up more in bed, maybe sit at the end of your bed, whatever you can do to start getting this information, because the more you can be aware of who you were today, the more you can start to make changes and adjust or adapt anything you need that is out of alignment with those intentions and those desires. What do you need to be to energetically match that experience and you're wanting? And when you rewind your day, you really get to zoom in and understand what's actually happening. Now, another thing you can do is as you start your day, you basically try to have a vision. What are you wanting it? What do you think is going to happen? Now, when you start to overlay these, which is what I did after learning about this practice, you start to see magic. And there's a couple situations that I went through where I had a situation and I thought it was going to go a certain way, and something beyond my imagination came in that was so much better than I could have even perceived or imagined. And it happened to me, and when I was rewinding, I was actually able to better hold this experience and better put light to it. And it was belief shattering. Wow, really wonderful things do happen to me. What if the universe is actually conspiring to help me? So as you're reviewing your day, remember, what were you thinking? What were you feeling? That's a big one. Remember, the feeling aspect of you is the magnetic part. So even though maybe you're going to work, when I was doing this in my own life, I was, there was moments that I was going through something, and at the time I was maybe stressed or maybe trying to get something done. But when I reviewed, I could see, oh, wow, I was really annoyed, or I was really in a lower level energy when I was doing that thing. So when I become more aware of it, I can be more conscious of it for the next time. That earlier experience I gave about how I was unconsciously self-abandoning so I could get this person's validation, when you start reviewing this day and you start noticing, oh, okay, what was my intention there? What was my true motivating factor? And especially if you see repeating patterns, you can start asking yourself and being more aware, okay, what is really driving that? What fear do I have? What experiences could be fueling that? I challenge you to do this backwards review for the next 7 days and comment below your experiences. What magic did you find? What did you become aware of that you were not when you lived your day, but when you did this backwards review, you started to say, oh, okay, I got out of alignment here. Okay, what can I do in the future? What was I feeling? What was I thinking? What happened outside of me? What stimulus happened that triggered maybe a reactionary state? Compassion and kindness for yourself. You're doing the best you can. And the more you start to become conscious, you can start to then make a new choice in the moment, which is how you're going to reprogram those old programs and neurologically create the new mind, which will make you attracting your desires so much easier. Now, using this practice to expand your awareness is revolutionary, but what do you do now? Well, this next video right here is going to show you what steps you can take now that you have the awareness to radically change your life. So check it out here.